Hello everyone, welcome back to Bitcoin New York. Today is 27th of June, 8 p.m. New York time. The daily charts and the weekly charts have closed, so I'd like to share to you guys about the current going-ons of the cryptocurrency markets. And today's fear and greed over here. So I think we are at a pretty good place over here. I think they are making kind of considerations of IPOs, which is pretty good news for us. We are going into Bitcoins, Ethereums, Bitcoin Cash, which I haven't gotten into for a little while, and Ripples. And I will be getting into other currencies in the future, so subscribe, like, and share if you want more. So yeah. So today, the fear and greed over here, first of all, yesterday was at 22. Today is at 25 over here. And we are at extreme fear over here, which we have been in the last few weeks. So it is a very, very good place to be making buy orders right now. And I have pretty good vibes about this market personally. And I have found a little bit of a good tweet, which was kind of interesting, which I would like to share, from Cameron Winklevoss over here. So I think he wrote a lot about pretty good stuff about Bitcoin over here. So there are 46.8 million billionaires in the world, and there are only 21 million Bitcoins. Less than half will be able to own one Bitcoin. So that are just kind of like the numbers that are out there right now. So there's only like half Bitcoins for every millionaire in the world. So that, I think that is that's very interesting. So yeah. As he said in this tweet, don't miss the revolution. Yeah, don't miss it, man. It's a big thing happening here. There's even like a limit to how many Bitcoins are being made in every year, which is like adds up to this tweet, you know. And what I think it's kind of a little bit of a hard time we're at in Bitcoin, which is kind of at a bullish market right now. I think is very, very hard for a lot of people. But I think looking at these statistics and such in these tweets, I think there is a lot more room for growth in Bitcoin, which is very, very good for us. And a lot of currencies are getting into Bitcoin, you know. I think someplace in South Africa or something actually started using Bitcoin as their national currency. And I think that's going to be like a thing that's going to be going on for a little more while. Like, you know, more countries are going to be getting into it, and some governments are getting into stable coins. So just like that, Bitcoins are being more and more useful, more and more media coverage. So I think it's a very, very great place for Bitcoin. And I have a lot of Bitcoin myself, and I think it's actually being pretty good for myself. Like 46.8 million millionaires in the world, but there was only 21 Bitcoin as of right now. And those numbers aren't rising very rapidly for a while. I think it was like 1 million Bitcoin cap for every year. I think that was like the rate of growth for Bitcoin. So, you know, I think there is a lot growth for Bitcoin. If someone bought one Bitcoin at like 60,000, you know, that in dollars, and like didn't make any profits on that, you got to kind of look at the big picture over here, because in the long run, Bitcoins are bound to be hitting like a lot more 100,000, those kind of numbers. And even that happens, even the Bitcoin goes up, if you say altcoins are going down after that, it's not necessarily the case, because in the last 3 years, altcoin had been on a rise. So that is the situation that's happening over here. Since there is a bullish market, there's going to be a bearish market. That is something that's bound to happen, and even that happens. So if you have any of like Bitcoins or altcoins right now, be wary of that, because that is something that will happen if you're in this investment game. So let's get into Bitcoins first of all. This is the weekly charts over here. Let me get this out right now. Yeah, this something that I was very concerned about over here. in this EMA line over here. So last time the candlesticks were hitting on the EMA line over here, and over here it's actually looking a little bit better over here. So the reason that happened over here, once it goes down through the EMA line, it kind of bunks down after that. So this was around after Corona time. If it goes through the EMA 50, it goes up after that. And around here, this was at 2016 over here, up to 2018. So these 3 points, they haven't actually went through the EMA line, but they have kind of the part that I've kind of circled out right now. There are a lot of percentages moving around in those areas. But in a kind of a bullish market, there's kind of patterns will happen. And over here, that pattern happened about 3 times over here, as I've circled out here. So this kind of the pattern that is kind of following right now. And right now, around 2020, it actually had went through. And recently, it has been kind of been following that kind of pattern. But right now, I think after this, it will go through it and go into a kind of a big adjustments that's happening right now. So, but right now, I think it's kind of in a little bit of a green right now. And as for the duration of this period, so this is the kind of the how I've lined up this line over here. Probably 168 or 196, I think. So I think around the middle of July, I think that kind of period it will be kind of the, the time that this pattern will be taking place for a little more while. So if it goes around here, I think it might kind of scoop down after that if it were to go through the 50 EMA. And at the least, the last of August, I think it will hit around those numbers. So it's kind of moving in this triangular pattern over here. And today, there is a long candlestick down there. But looking at the daily charts, it's kind of a little bit more easy to see how it's moving right now. And one thing I'm actually concerned about over here is this over here. All these candlestick bottoms are mostly at this number over here, or over here, I think. So it's touching there and touching there. So it's touching there and it's touching there. This haven't touched over here, but 29,222. And one more thing over here. Yes, over here. 29,297. Yeah, over here. So this haven't been touching this line over here. So maybe next week, I think that might be happening. Maybe next week or the week after that. So yeah, over here, 29,131. So it might hit over here after that. But I think there might be more instances of hitting this top line over here at 30,000. And one more thing about this chart is that it might just go down through the trend line and hit that bottom part at the 17,000 range over here. So if that were to happen, just keep in mind, don't panic, and just buy into the dip, Just buy that dip. The trend will give you the path that you need to, grow your portfolio. But where the EMA line going on, it is bound to go a little bit lower and make some little bit of adjustments. So, that is bound to happen, to keep in mind. And one thing I was keeping my eye on right now was on this rectangular pattern. So it is kind of moving in its range for a little while at 39,000 to 30,000 over here. So just fluctuating in this range over here. So if it were to fluctuate a little bit more, and like the EMA line will come in and close in on that, and if that were to happen, and the candles keep that pattern, I think that is very, very good, because it just leaves chance for the candle lines to go through the EMA line and make a new rising pattern. And I think yesterday or the day before, I think Tesla had made a lot of move in this. I think about 2.5 million. I think they bought that kind of amount. So yeah. So even at the last time of coronavirus over here, this was at about 1.8 billion of or buy order that Tesla made around. And around here is I think a lot of cash has been flowing in here, like one of the most cash flowing in for a while in Bitcoin. And I've actually said this before, but in this growth curve over here, so after Corona, it was actually a pretty much out of the growth curve over here. But if you were to look at this with the growth curve over here, probably the bottom or the lowest of low would be 19,000 over here. There might be a little bit of exceptions, but that is where it is moving over here. So it's kind of the possibility of the price change that will be happening. But I think it's just gonna follow this trend line for a little while. But if it were to go through this triangular pattern, I think the timing of that would be, let me see over here. Let me get this out here with this last exception over here. So 397 days it were the bull run after the coronavirus pandemic over here. So looking into that, let me get this lined up from here. 397 days from that point. I ran short of that space over there. So over here, 397 days. Let me get this out on a big page over here. Over here, which is at the high would be 167,000. So this is kind of the range that it's moving into right now. It is very, 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 very high at that point. Let me line this out here with the Fibonacci's here. And over here at about 158,000. So next year in March around. So that will be the last weekly charts that will be happening if it were to follow this growth curve here. So that is very interesting for us. Looking like, that gives us some insight into how much Bitcoin could be growing in the near future. So around here is at 8,000, I think. I think a lot of people that are making technical analysis are looking into this Bitcoin over here. It's very, very interesting to look at. Yeah, pretty much the same as the Fibonacci says here. So if you were to buy at 64,000, that doesn't matter. If you were to go in at 60,000 or 5,000 for that matter, you just have to exit at like 158,000, which would be roughly about $200 increase, I think, or 250 maybe. So, it's not a matter of where you enter or about where you exit in this market. And probably after that would be, I think it's about 1.6 million, I think. At the bottom would be $1 million I think it's probably because that would be happening because of the limited supply that is happening with Bitcoin, which is one of the major features of this currency. But that would be in 6 years, 7 years time. But I think maybe you could close profits at that point at June in next year. Probably, I think after that bull run, it would probably go down again. So you could close profits once and make a position again. So it's kind of moving in this kind of pattern over here. Even if it were to go down up to here, I don't think it will go through this growth curve over here. That is not much of a possibility that will be happening here. So right now is a very, very good place to buy Bitcoin and get into this investment right now. And I can't say much more about this coin, but a lot of people are checking into cryptocurrency, and I think it is a very, very good opportunity for them to be getting into this cryptocurrency. So this range, and this triangular pattern and this growth curve would be stuff to be keeping in mind for those of you that are going into this. I think it is very, very good. So even at that range, that would be 20%, 30%. So yeah. Let's get into Ethereum's for a moment over here. It's in this trend line over here. And there is a lot of resistance on the EMA line over here. But right now, Ether is at the bottom of the EMA line right now. But there is a kind of a trend line resistance going on. So I'm very concerned about if it's going to go through the trend line and go down and scoop in. Or if it will keep a resistance within the trend line. And this over here There are possibilities of hitting the bottom green line there, but the daily charts over here, the problem with getting into a position in Ethereum is over here, probably 1700. That would be the place to be making pretty good orders over here, or 17,026. If it were to go down after that, the range of lowering would be probably at 1400, I think, or maybe even 1200. I think it might go around here at August. I think it might lower down after August. So maybe wait until August. I think that would be, in my opinion. Even if you could you could get into a good position at August, you could close profits after that, after it goes up. And this is in dollars, by the way. And let's check the Ethereums and Bitcoins over here. Ethereum Bitcoin pair. So it's actually going up and kind of trying to test that top range over there. And right now, I think it might go through the resistance line and go and try for that low place over there at 49251. But it's not a very strong as in dollars, so I think they are in need of some adjustments that will be happening in the future. If it were to make a resistance on the trend line, that would be a pretty good place. It'll make a triangular pattern over there, so that would be pretty good. And this is the weekly RSI over here. This has been connecting since December of last year, and Ethereums are pretty solid over here. It's kind of moving in a good place right now. So yeah, it's looking like this over here, looking very healthy. If it goes through that trend line, there might be an instance of kind of trying to go to that place at 44833. I wouldn't be surprised if it did that, but it would just make more velocity on that uprise. So since last year, the growth range has been at 350% over here, but the last high was at 774%, which was very high. I'm actually a pretty good place to be making investments here. Just looking at based on this data over here. Even from right now, there are 178% growth over here, which is very interesting. We're looking here. But I think there are going to be some signs of adjustments or kind of hitting that low part before it goes up, which is, I think, the most likely pattern that's happening. And Bitcoin Cash in US dollars over here. It's kind of went up a little too much, so it's kind of at going sell-off and scooping down right now. But I don't think it's instances of selling through this trend line is going to happen for a little while. And in dollars, I think in dollars over here is at 470. I think it might hit down here at $420, $426 maybe. Maybe around that kind of range. There are resistance on that line over there, over here. On the Fibonacci. Oh, sorry, I took that out. Let me get this Fibonacci retracement over again. And yeah, so I don't think there are going to be an instance of going through this trend line over here at 422, I think. So just keeping a good portfolio and not relying on Bitcoin high I think is a good idea. And it hasn't even gone into the autumn high right now yet, so I think aiming for that autumn high would be a pretty good place. So probably at 26,000. 2018's high was probably at 41,000. And I think a lot of space for growth right now. Looking at this Fibonacci over here. Presently, I think it's a very good place to be going into this Bitcoin Cash over here. And I can say this for a lot. I think it's the same for Litecoins and like Bitcoin Cash. And I think it's kind of following in the same pattern and the same percentage range over here. Probably at $3,100. That is kind of the potential growth. It's kind of not flashy as the other cryptocurrencies, but it is very doable in making investments in this chart. So it's kind of making lows and kind of it's kind of a spiky per se chart, which is very interesting. And the RSIs are looking not bad overall over here. Not bad overall. Yeah, over here, starting since 2018 of October. And this is the weekly charts RSIs over here, starting at May of 2018. Yeah, it's kind of just moving in this trend line over here. It's kind of went through there. So if it will go through the trend line, that would be pretty good. It will probably make a big velocity happening. It's kind of taking a little bit of time, but it's very, very fine over here. Just waiting until it goes through that trend line is kind of the key here. And Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoins over here. And the weekly charts are looking like this. It's kind of held down at that bottom over there, starting on a sell over there. And there is a lot of resistance over here, but I think there are instances of selling off over here. If that were to happen, it would be about 1306523. And if that were to happen, it'll probably kind of follow the same pattern that is going on over here. It has been on a sell for a little while, and it has kind of tried to go up and hit that EMA line. And this week we have been kind of in this trend pattern. If it make a little bit more of a long candlestick downwards, I think it will probably go a little bit higher in the market. So there are kind of you can see in little places that it couldn't really make a trend direction change over here. And even looking at on the weekly charts over here, let me get, sorry, what am I doing here? Yeah, this is the one that I want over here. And even in the RSIs over here, it's kind of trying to go down and kind of making like upward spikes. Yeah, I think it's kind of like this actually. So I think it's only a matter of time until it goes up after this. And there is one in Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum pair, so we are going to get into those in the near future probably. And in ripples over here, yeah, ripples and US dollars over here. This is the weekly charts over here. Let me get this out of the way here. Looking at it on a big perspective, this has been happening since 2017 here. It has gone through this triangle over here. It's kind of trying to go hit that triangle over there. So I think there are very, very little signs of it going through and making lower prices. But nothing is for certain, you know, so I'll get this out of the way. So if it were to go down after this, how much will it go down? Sorry, that's the wrong one. I wanted to get the Fibonacci tracement here. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, this is, I think, lined up pretty good. I think XRPs, I think a lot of people are trying to get into XRPs. Probably 45 cents would be a pretty good price for me. If it goes down like 20 cents, that would be pretty good. I think that would be a pretty good place. Or 59 cents would be a pretty good place to keep an eye out on. Or 55 cents would be pretty good. If you could get into that place, that would be very, very good. And the daily charts, if you can get into here, that would be pretty good. At around 64 cents and between 64 cents and 53 cents. Those two between ranges are very, very good over here. I think it's very, very great, looking very, very beautiful. And the monthly charts over here, in the next 5 days, it is finalizing. It's starting on a sell-off over here. And the bottom sticks are hitting the trend line and the EMA line, which is very, very interesting. And one more thing over here. I think there might be a little bit little candlestick movements, fluctuation, and then rising after that. It's kind of before the autumn high, kind of cooping through in there. And there are a lot of, potential growth, as you can see on this upwards lines here, as I've had in the Fibonacci's. And over here, I think the market cap is pretty good too. I think it's not a place to be waiting around on. I think it's a very big chance to be getting into. And ripples and bitcoins, I think this is the last one. And it's kind of scooping in at the moment right now. 1,671. I think those are a pretty good place to be getting into. I think one more place is 17,047. Oh, sorry, 1,747. So I think those two range and those lines are a pretty good place to be getting into or keeping eye out on. Yeah, so that is the places to be making orders. It's making a double top with a scoop afterwards. And over here, getting the Fibonacci's out on the over here. And yeah, this is looking like this over here. So a lot of topwards potential growth in this market. So from over here, this is at the time right now. This is over here. So 1 Bitcoin equals 3 ripples, 300% growth. So it kind of depends on the RSIs after this. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it's looking a little bit similar to as in dollars. Probably like this, I think. Yeah. So it might go up and scoop down a little bit after that. So yeah. Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up for ripples and Bitcoins. Yeah, and right now, I think it's a lot of people have like ripples. So follow me on Twitter and make a request for me. And I'm going to get into a lot more cryptocurrency videos in the near future. So I'm going to be doing a lot more charts, daily cryptocurrency videos, updates. So follow me at Twitter on Tatsugo channel. So, and yeah, I think the new week's happening. That's pretty good. Very exciting. And the 6th of July, I think the monthly chart's closing. So yeah, looking at that chart after it finalizes, I think you could make a lot of good investments on that based on that monthly chart. Yeah, so this is it, I think. So have a great night, guys. Thank you.